I didn't hear my sister's comment at first. Dad's birthday parties were always noisy, too many cousins, folding chairs scraping the patio. Someone arguing about music by the grill. I was inside refilling a tray of drinks when I caught the end of a sentence drifting in from the backyard. My sister was laughing. "She's too dumb to realize we'll never pay her back." Someone else laughed with her. Not cruelly. Just the way people laugh when they think something is harmless. I stood still in the kitchen doorway, holding a glass that suddenly felt heavier than it should. They weren't talking about a specific thing. Not really. It was just understood. The rent I'd covered when her husband lost his job. The 3 months I'd helped again when daycare costs got out of control. The random, "We're short this week." Transfers that had slowly turned into routine. I never called it a loan. They never called it anything, until that moment, apparently. I went back outside with the drinks. No one noticed anything different. My sister hugged me, the same way she always did, her arm hooked around my shoulder like we were still kids. For the rest of the night I smiled when people talked to me. I helped Dad clean up, I packed leftovers into containers. But my brain had started doing quiet math. Not angrily, just carefully. A few days later, I opened my banking history. Scrolling back took longer than I expected. Rent transfers. Temporary help. Just until next month. Thank you. I swear we'll pay you back. Some were small. Some weren't. $16,000. I sat there staring at the number, surprised less by the amount and more by how normal it had felt at the time. Each payment had seemed temporary, reasonable. Family helping family. I closed the spreadsheet and made a decision that felt strangely calm. I didn't text her. I didn't confront her about what I heard. I simply stopped paying. At first nothing happened. A month went by. Then another. My sister still called sometimes, but the tone had shifted slightly. Conversations became more practical. "Things are tight right now. We're figuring stuff out, landlord's being weird lately." I listened. Sometimes she paused, like she was waiting for me to offer something. I didn't. That part was harder than I expected. There were moments when I almost said, "Do you need help this month?" The words sat right behind my teeth, but every time, I remembered the laughter at the party. Not mean laughter. Confident laughter. The kind that assumes something will always be there. About 4 months later, my phone rang late in the afternoon. It was my sister. She sounded stressed. "Hey, are you home?" "I am. I need to talk to you." There was something tight in her voice that made my stomach twist a little. "Okay," I said. She showed up 20 minutes later. She didn't sit down right away. She just stood in my living room, clutching her phone like it might explode. "We got an eviction notice," she said. The words came out fast. "They're saying if we don't pay the balance this month, we have to leave." I nodded slowly. She was pacing now. "I thought we had more time. And things have been crazy and we just..." She stopped and looked at me. For the first time in years, she didn't sound confident. "We really need help." The room got very quiet. I walked to the kitchen table and pulled a folder from the drawer. It wasn't dramatic. I'd made it weeks earlier. Just printed statements, dates, transfers. I set the stack down in front of her. "What's this?" she asked. "Everything I've paid over the past few years." She frowned, flipping through the pages. At first she looked confused. Then slower. Then still. Her finger stopped halfway down one page. "What is this number?" 16,000, I said. The words came out evenly. She looked up at me like I'd just switched languages. "That's not..." She stopped. "Because technically, it was." Her face moved through several emotions very quickly. Confusion. Embarrassment. Something defensive that never fully formed. "You never said, you never asked," I said quietly. That was the first time either of us sounded sharp. The silence that followed was thick but not explosive. No yelling, no accusations. Just the quiet weight of numbers sitting between us on the table. She sank into the chair across from me. "I thought you were helping," she said. "I was. And now." I took a breath. Now I'm stopping. She looked at the papers again. For a long time neither of us spoke. Finally she asked, softer this time, so what happens now? I shrugged a little. That's up to you. She left about 10 minutes later. No door slamming. No dramatic exit. Just a long pause at the doorway, like she was trying to figure out if she wanted to say something else. Then she walked out. That night I thought again about Dad's party. The laughter. The sentence drifting through the kitchen door. For weeks after hearing it, I kept wondering if maybe I'd misunderstood, if maybe it had been a joke. But sitting at my table that afternoon, watching my sister look at those numbers, I realized something. The power between us hadn't changed in that moment. It had just become visible. And for the first time in years, I wasn't carrying it alone.